Hey there again, it's Zephyr here. You might already know me, this might be your first video, that's absolutely fine. Today I'm just going to go over how to make a very simple quest, and also to just learn how to do story progression today in RPG Maker. I bet you're always wondering, okay, now I've got my map, I can teleport my characters, what do I do next? How do I progress a role-playing game story? And we're going to just show you some basic quest progression here, and it's going to be the building blocks for making that story progression. So I just want to get into that today, start nice and simple. Again, we're going to have a very brief look at the event page again. If you haven't seen my transfers video on how to transfer from one map to another, and it's your first time using RPG Maker, it may be worth just looking at that tutorial, because I may gloss over some things that were covered in there. But again, we're going to get into it today. I've already prepared a map here. So this is a map from a game that I'm working on called Armor of the Abyss. And I thought it was a really good opportunity because I do need to make a quest anyway, of just how things work. So this is one of the very first areas in the game. All the tiles are custom here on the screen, but I will show you how to do custom tiles later. It's not going to stop you from learning the fundamentals though. So what we're going to do, make sure, just remember the map modes that we went over last time. So we have obviously we have the drawing view, we have the event view, so make sure the event button is turned on. And then you want to right click on the grid where you want to input your NPC. Well, it could be an NPC that gives the quest, it could be a sign that gives the quest, whatever you want really. We're going to keep it nice and simple. We'll have an NPC that we talk to and they'll provide us the quest there. So what you need to do, just right click on an area as you would do before and just hit new. So this time you wouldn't want to do any sort of quick event creation. It's not going to be covered in that. So we're going to use a little bit of what we did last time. So just as a reminder, the diamond here in the contents page of the event, that's where we'll be putting events in when necessary. But first, we're just going to go over the images. So the images in the event editor is here under image, obviously, and you want to just double click it. If you double click it, it's going to bring up a new window and it's going to let you select an image. I'm not going to give too much details about the dimension of images for now. You can use a stock asset to practice. I'll cover that in another video. I do have some characters prepared here. So I have an NPC right here that I'm going to use. We've got this guy with a green scarf. We're going to use him. I'm going to give him a name. I'm going to call him Roger. We'll just name the event to make things easier. We'll call him Roger. This is Roger. You want to make sure the priority is the same as characters. That means the event is going to be on the same level of as the characters. It means they're not going to try and step on this guy when they either try and walk over him or walk behind him. It won't look like they're standing on the top of his head. You can turn stepping on if you want. I'm not going to turn it on because I don't have any animation frames for this. Direction fix, I'm actually going to turn that on for this. You don't have to do it, but I'm going to do it because it will keep my character facing in one direction, as I've only illustrated one direction for this character. And right, so we just want a general sort of quest here. So what our quest is going to be is, well, we're going to click on the diamond and we're going to give the player a mission. So this is what we're going to do. I am going to retool this slightly in my actual game because I have a particular way I display text personally in my project I'm working on. But just to keep things basic, just double click on the diamond and the contents as you've done before. And on page 1, you want to select show text. If you select show text, it's going to bring up a pretty cool window. It's very straightforward what it does. It lets you put a body of text here. There is a little bit more you can do in this window besides just type. And if you hover over the text window, it's going to give you a list of commands. I won't go over them all today. I'd actually encourage you to give them a read because I'll go over them in a future video. But give them a read. They'll give you an idea of each one and what they do. And if you fancy going ahead and actually using them ahead of this video and just having an experiment, that's the best way to learn. That practical sort of experience is the best way to learn that. But I will cover it in a later video for you. So on this, I can write some text here. So we'll write some general dialogue. I'm on the search for a little flower of a glorious yellow. Notice how I put a space there. So if you see this like little silver line here, that is the cutoff on the default window. If you're on a minimum size, then it may cut off that text. That's just a word of warning there. So I'll just make a bit of text here. I'm on the search for a little flower of a glorious yellow. Could you please fetch me a sample from within these woods? So there we go. We just got some general message there. We can put a name here if we like. We'll put Roger. I'm actually pretty sure that's not how you spell Roger. I'll call him Roderick. I'm not going to make a fool of myself today. And you can include a face picture if you want. I do have pictures here of my own, but there's some stock assets you can use as well. I mean, I can use a stock asset if I want. I'm not going to, but they're there if you want to use them. You can also click batch entry if you want to enter more than one text box. Background is the background that you want to see your window as. If you want to adjust the background actual pattern or texture, you'd have to do that in the database. I will show that in this video, so don't worry about that. There's dim. It just makes the background a dim background, and transparent means there's absolutely nothing behind that text there. Window position, you can have it show bottom, top, or middle. Again, these are some pretty good techniques to use if you're trying to, I don't know, maybe if you're trying not to hide certain things on the screen, or maybe it's something that's a little bit more formal. You might put it in the middle. It's like a thought bubble. Yeah, it's really up to you how you handle the window position, but typically most RPGs will go for the bottom on there. So we've done the basic quest here. I'm on the search for a little flower of glorious yellow. Could you please fetch me a sample from within these woods? Normally, now this is where I'd normally say you could say yes or no. I'm actually going to very quickly just go over this. This video is going to be a little bit longer than my other ones just because I want to cover that first. So just hit the diamond. And if you want your character to have a response to this, you can see on the first page, the second option is called Show Choices. So if you select Show Choices, you can put the generic yes or no there. Or you could put, for example, you could customize it. I can certainly do that for you. And then you can put not on your life, mate. I'm not Australian, but there you go. And you can also, again, select the background, window position. You can have it left, right, middle. I think, personally, we'll keep it to the right here. Default choice, if you're just mashing buttons, it's by default going to select choice 1. If you hit the cancel button for whatever reason, it will default to choice 2. So that will automatically decline the dialogue. And you can see there's some extra diamonds that have appeared here now. So it means you can add further text here. So I could have Roderick say thank you. Thank you. Your efforts shall be rewarded. There we go. And then not on your life, mate. And we'll just leave that. He'll just give us a bit of silence here. while I'm here, let me just rename this Roderick. Okay, so we got Roderick. We'll hit apply. And there is something we can do here now. So this is one of the important things about questing or doing dialogue or anything like that. So if you want to enable the quest, or if you want to do any kind of progress in your game, and now this is really important, you want to use either one of three things that we've got on here. Well, there's actually a little bit more than that. So you see where we've got conditions here. So we've got these conditions. We've got switch. You can have multiple switches if you want. Variables, self switches, item, or actor. So these conditions determine the status of an event. The best way I can describe it is, let's make a new page. So we make a new event page. One other thing that we can do to streamline this is I usually copy the event and I just paste the event. So we make a new page with the same guy. I delete that bit there. But this time, I am going to change something. So we're going to go to this text here, just below this, where we've said yes, we've agreed that we want to help this guy. We just tap on the diamond. We select. We're going to select something called a self switch. So a self switch, I want to teach you self switches first, because self switches are a little bit more efficient to use than normal switches where possible. They don't work in all scenarios, but I want to teach you this now because it's a good habit to pick up. So select self switch A as on. So here we're going to select the self switch A as on. Best way I can describe it, it's like turning on a light switch. We flick the button, the switch is on, it defaults to whatever is affected by self switch A. And this is where we get onto the second page. So the second page is sort of like a sandwich, I guess. So we've got page 1 at the bottom. We've got page 2 just above that. So page 2 is above page 1, but page 2 isn't going to be accessible yet. Well, if we'd left this page exactly as we're seeing it right now, what would happen is we'd try talking to this NPC and nothing would happen. And that's because it prioritized page 2. However, for it to prioritize page 1, we can make the condition on page 2 not met. So this is why I just tick self switch here. You see where it says A, B, C, D? You select A. And now it starts to make sense. If you don't quite understand, I'll say it one more time. So what we're doing here is we're agreeing to this fellow's terms through a show choices. We're turning self switch A on. By turning self switch A on, we're flipping the page over essentially to page 2. So it's defaulting to page 2 now that we've turned that self switch A on. And we can now just add some extra dialogue here. So we'll add some extra dialogue here. Have you found the flower yet? Please find it soon. So we haven't quite found this flower yet. Unfortunately. So what we're going to do again, we're going to copy another page here. We're going to paste a page. And we're going to do a result for what happens if we actually bring this flower to him. So let's just see here. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this page into item. And I have some items here. I'm going to just use this default item for now. I'm not going to go into the item database today, so we'll use the special route for now. And then we'll just say, you've found the plant I was looking for. May I have it? And again, you could put yes or no here if you wanted to. I think I'm just going to go to updating the quest here. So we're going to do a change items event. So page 1, change items. We're going to find that special route. We're going to decrease the count in our inventory by 1. Because we've got one in our inventory, it is going to activate this page. And you can give a reward if you want. So we could say, many thanks. I shall reward you with 100 gold. Let's just update that formatting a bit there. So yeah, many thanks. I shall reward you with 100 gold. So what we're going to do, you've probably already seen it, but click the diamond. Page 1, party, change gold, increase 100. And if we want to be real fancy here, we can add another message here and just say, you have gained 100 gold, if you so feel like it. Make sure to remove the name. And just to make it look like it's actually system text to differentiate it, I'm actually going to dim the window and I'm going to put it in the middle of the screen. And I'm also, just for a little bit of flavor, we're going to add a little sound. So we're going to hit the diamond again. We're going to hit page 2. We're going to hit play ME. Choose any ME that you like. I've got a bunch of custom ones here. So let's see what one I want to use. Could use that. You know what, we'll use that one. That one's quite funny. So we'll use that. And I think the one thing we have to be careful of now is we do need to make another page here, or at least another conditional, because if we don't, what's going to happen is we're going to keep getting the reward for the gold over and over again every time we interact with this guy. So what we're going to do, we're going to do one more page. I'm going to copy and paste. We'll remove that special root term. We'll include a self switch, but this time it's going to be B. We're going to use B, so it's a different switch there. And on the third page, we need to make sure that self switch B is on. So we turn self switch B on. It flips to self switch B on page 4. And I can have, if I just delete these contents here, I'm going to have Roderick say one last thing. Thank you for your efforts. My main character's a lady, so there we go. Right, so that's the bare bones of the quest there. Now, obviously, we need to create the quest item. I'm going to put it in a very blatant place. So we're actually going to put the item here. The way I've structured this quest, I have made it so that you can pick up the item ahead of time and just hand it over to him, but you can change it in a way where you can't pick up the item until you speak to the fellow. Let's see, here's a good flower here. Oh no, that one's too big. Let's use this one. So I'll put that as same as characters. We'll put a self switch on here. We'll do a self switch A. We'll do a piece of text here. So we'll do some system text. We'll do it dim. We'll do it middle. There is a luxurious... Spelling is not my forte here. There is a grand... There we go. That hides my spelling. There is a grand yellow flower here. Pick it from the ground. And again, we can do show choices, put yes or no. And then we can do another system text here and just say, you pull the plant from the ground robbing it of its life. I hope you're happy. So the system isn't very impressed that our player character has just sort of starved an amazing plant of this size from the ground and just made it slowly decay. So yeah. Let me just see here. So, one more moment. So the final thing we need to do, again, click the diamond, select Control Self Switch, set it to A, hit OK, and there you go. So that is the second page. The flower is now gone. And yeah, that's that event there. So this should work fine. Fingers crossed. It may need some tweaking here and there. Again, we're going to do a test play. So start the player position. I'm just going to give it a go. If you're wondering why my game boots straight away, I am using a quick start plugin to make the game load faster. But normally you would see a title screen here. Right. So we're in the game right now. Just ignore those kind of broken plants up there. Again, this game is still a work in progress. We're going to talk to this guy. He says, I'm on the search for a little flower of glorious yellow. Could you please fetch me a sample from within these woods? Say, not on your life, mate. And then he just goes back to the dialogue again. So you can say, I certainly can do that for you. Thank you. Your effort shall be rewarded. And if we talk to him again, he says, have you found the flower yet? Please find it soon. And obviously if you keep talking to him, nothing progresses because you haven't picked up the flower yet. And then there's the flower here. The one thing I did forget to do is actually add it to inventory. So this might actually break. What we'll do, we'll just quickly go back out. I'm going to jump cut here. But what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that that root is added. So just click there, change items, and just get that special root. There we go. So I've added the special root. It's very, very easy to miss stuff, but... And this is another point where I can just show you that this is going to just kind of work, even though we haven't talked to the guy. So we'll go over here. We'll pick it from the ground. You pull the plant from the ground, robbing over its life. I hope you're happy. Yeah, we're pretty horrible people here. Right. So you found the plant I'm looking for. May I have it? Many thanks. I shall reward you with 100 gold. And there you go. That is your first quest. So yeah, as you can see, that's just teaches you something very basic there. It is self-switches. A little bit of a longer video, I know. But the problem with switches in events, it's very hard to kind of just do that without making a video kind of a little bit longer. It's just getting that understanding. I would definitely have a play with yourself and try and do a couple of switches on your own. There is one type of switch I didn't go into today, and that is the name switch, which is this one here. And I've already used a couple already. But the only reason I haven't taught you that, so you can go and use it, and it's exactly the same as using a self switch, except it's a little bit less efficient. But there are places you still need to use these kind of switches, or variables. Again, variables is a whole can of worms that will be its own video, and I'll introduce that slowly. So again, I haven't gone through everything on the event window yet. There's still so much to cover when it comes to the event kind of stuff there, but I hope that it helps you at least understand how basic quests work. And yes, you can absolutely chain a series of switches together, for example, to create a narrative. At least that's how I originally did it. Now I use variables, but that is one way to do it if you want to make some kind of story progression there. You don't have to just do a mini quest. It can go further, and it can be a quest chain. You can absolutely chain it. Might teach that a bit later on, actually. I'll have a good example in RPG Maker XP that I can share. But for now, I think this video's already been long enough. I think it's nearly 25 minutes plus at this point. So yeah, we're gonna leave it at that, and we'll have something else fun next time to do. My aim for next time is to actually go through one or two of the questions. I have received some, and at the date of this recording, this is my third video I've made on the second day that I've started working on these. So absolutely, it's going to probably be about 3 weeks until I start directly addressing questions. So sorry for any delays on that. I don't want to spam upload videos. I want to keep them nice and consistent and sustainable for myself, because I do work full time. But yeah, I hope this has been helpful to you. Hi there guys, thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, feel free to share it with your friends, and if you have a question that you want me to answer, feel free to leave a comment below. It might be featured in a future video. That's really all I have to say. Thank you so much for your time.